Hello, everyone. Hi. Welcome to the American Comedy Institute show, and we are live online. Here's what you are going to see tonight: an incredible lineup of comics, literally from all over the world tonight, who have trained in a workshop conducted by Becky Viduccia, one of our instructors at ACI, who we love so much. Yes, Becky's getting claps in the gallery on Zoom. We love Becky. So all of these people worked in this workshop with Becky. They worked on their material and they're ready to perform. And we have an awesome show for you. Literally people from all over the world tonight. Some of our alumni from the American Comedy Institute have gone on to perform on The Late Show, The Tonight Show, Colbert, Conan, Gotham Comedy Live, Saturday Night Live, and they perform in the best comedy clubs all over the world and all over New York City. And the best comedy club in the world right now is wherever you're watching this. So thank you for having us in your living room. The 2-drink minimum is in effect wherever you are and whatever time it is. I'm going to be your host tonight. My name is Michaela. I'm very excited to present this lineup of comics to you. And I'll start by saying I love doing shows on Zoom because you cannot tell how small that I am. Because, wow, I'm small. On a scale between Snooki and Danny DeVito, they're both taller than me, both of them. I'm 4'8". Yeah. The first time that my ex saw me naked, they actually said that they were shocked at how close together that everything was. And I take that as a compliment. You know, that's convenient. I have a convenient body. When I die, I will donate it not to science, but to engineering. I do believe I am a new type of simple machine. I like to think of myself as like a human iPod shuffle. I have all the regular functions, but I'm just tinier. And if you give me one margarita, I will only play Jimmy Buffett over and over again, the whole discography. That's what it's like for me. I spent a lot of this past pandemic, most of the past year I spent in Florida. Yeah, a terrifying place, but I was not alone. Luckily, I had two wonderful quarantine partners. Ladies and gentlemen, they have been married for 27 beautiful years. They have seen all 8 seasons of Dexter thrice, and they still don't believe in global warming. It was Mike and Tina Fagan, just the greatest parents ever. I love them so much. They live in a 55 and over community. And I must say, the view from their backyard over the man-made lake of my middle school was just beautiful. A gorge. It made me wish I could paint, which I tried around month 3. I tried to work through some trauma, but it didn't work. So they lived in a 55 plus community, which means I lived in a 55 and over community. So I could not sleep at night because I knew that I was the only fertile woman in at least a mile. And if this became a situation where we had to repopulate the earth, there was going to be a line of old men knocking down my door. So I had to establish the parameters of the competition that would ensue. First up, you need an active driver's license to enter. Active. Then there would be a jitterbug competition just to determine their style, their flair, and their endurance. And then we'd end it with bocce ball tournament to the death. I would procreate with the lone victor. And by procreate, of course, I mean a socially distanced early bird special at Boston Market. That's all that I would give. But luckily for those men, I'm back in New York City. I am back. And I just moved into a new apartment. So thank you. It's a piece of crap. I hate it. My dream apartment, my dream would truly be to live above a bakery. Oh my God. That would be awesome. I'd probably be like friends with all the guys who work downstairs. They'd probably stop me when I was coming home. They'd be like, "Hey, Michaela, you know what? You're looking a little down. We got the solution. Do you want the ugly rolls? We have dozens of rolls. They baked weird and we can't sell them, but they are bread and you will eat them. These are for you." That would be incredible. They'd probably trudge up the stairs in the middle of the night with like a 3-tier wedding cake, like, "The wedding's off. And now this cake is for you." There you go. That would be the ultimate dream come true. What I got in reality is a duplex that flooded. It was horrible, but there are 2 ways out of the basement. So we were safe, but there is no way out of the lease. So I'm having a good time over here. In college, I'll admit to you all now that we're friends. Back in college, I was a lesbian. And I still am because I'm not a quitter. I'm not going to quit. It's hard, but I'm going to keep going. It's worth it. I'm not the only queer person in my family, though. My Aunt Loretta is the best, and she has a wife, and they have like this crew of New Jersey lesbians who I believe are the keystone of the New Jersey lesbian community. I think that they keep it all together. They give great advice, but they came out like in the 80s, so kind of a different time. And I will still ask them questions like, "Hey, how do I let this girl know that I'm interested in her?" And they'll be like, "Okay, yes, got it. Here's what you're going to do. Okay, step number one, marry a man, wait 10 to 12 years. Wait a decade. Waited. I'm like, "I don't think you understand what I'm trying to say." They're like, no. It's all part of the process. All part of the process. Thank you all so much. My name's Michaela. I'm super excited to bring your first comic to the screen. She's awesome. She's a great friend and you're going to love her. Please give it up. All the way from Thousand Oaks, California, this is Michelle Maluzaki.
Yay! Thank you. Oh my gosh. All the way from Thousand Oaks. You know Thousand Oaks. We had mass shooting about 2 years ago. I was really upset because I want to be the one who is going to put Thousand Oaks on the map, but some idiot did it for me. Oh, is it too soon? I'm so sorry. I've been married for 20 years. I know this because 9/11. Oh, it's too soon again. I'm just, I am so wrong. But you know what? I am Michelle Maluzaki, the hottest Asian mom in Ventura County as a soccer referee. Yeah, I'm the hottest Asian mom soccer referee in Ventura County, over 50, because I'm the only one. Number one. I got a new magic trick. 8-chin, double chin. What? A magic. Oh my gosh. So I'm an Asian mom, so I am really good at traumatizing kids. I try my best to be a tiger mom, but I found out I'm not good at it. Then I'm like, oh, I'm not a Chinese, I'm a Japanese. I can't be a tiger mom. I could only be a Hello Kitty mom. When my son was 4 years old, I took my son to the mall so he could ask Santa for what he wants for Christmas. My son sat on Santa's lap and asked Santa for 3 sisters. 3 sisters? I'm like, can it be something easy, like world peace? He's like, no, I want 3 sisters. And the Santa said, ho, 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 no problem. Good luck, Mom. So Mommy got busy. Long story short, oh yeah, well, you might be wondering, like, oh my gosh, Michelle, how many times did you get busy? Once. My husband is like anti-ballistic missile defense system. He never misses the mark. So long story short, I got my sister a son. But I'm like, oh my gosh, this is too much work. I gotta come up with some excuse not to have any more kids. And I did. I told my son, hey, William, there'll be no more sisters. He's like, why? I said, well, because Santa died. But he didn't look upset at all. I'm like, are you okay? He's like, yeah, I'm fine. I really didn't like the sister that Santa got me last year. My son is half Asian and half white, but he's a redneck. I love it because I save a lot of money for not buying him any shoes nor shirts. And he doesn't need education, does he? He ain't going no university. I could start saving money for, I don't know, Sizzler dinner. When I was growing up, my mom told me, Michelle, if you don't study hard, Godzilla will come get you. Arr! I'm like, oh my gosh, I gotta study. And that's another reason I came to America, to get away from Godzilla. Compared to that, I tell my son, hey, William, just don't get B minus or not even A minus. Yeah, don't get A. Get all A's, no A minus, because A minus is an Asian F. So much easier than Godzilla come get you. I wanted my kids to be competitive, so I taught my kids your mama jokes. I taught him I remember the first one I taught them, your mama's so fat. When she told joke, nobody laughed. But when she fell, whole sidewalk cracked up. And my son's like, your mama is my mama. You're making fun of yourself. You lose. I said, no, it is called self-dedication joke. No, I win again. I love having two kids, a boy and a girl, son and a daughter, because every birthday I tell my son, thank you for being born to me. You're my favorite son. And your sister is my favorite child. Well, thank you so much, because I don't get this much attention at home. Well, I am at home, but you know what I mean. Thank you. I'm Michelle Maluzaki. Thank you. Yay.
Michelle Maluzaki. She never loses. She always wins. That's the ultimate yo mama joke. Yes, I know I'm yo mama. Very nice. Keep it going. I know that they're going to turn out great. Your kids are going to turn out super competitive. They'll take over the world. I'm really excited about your next comedian because he is making a stand-up comedy debut for you. So all the way from Chicago, Illinois, this is the very funny Kyle Parker.
Thank you, Michaela. It's great to be here. By the way, I just put my iPod Shuffle for sale on eBay. Just can't look at it the same. My name is Kyle. When my parents named me, nobody else had the name Kyle. Nobody. I am literally the oldest Kyle you have ever met. When I was young, I was a fast runner. So fast that they named me Quick. Unfortunately for my wife, that's also her nickname for me. And she would know we have 5 kids, and they were all conceived during the pandemic. That's how quick I am. Really though, my oldest kid is 18 and my youngest is 11. For those of you that are bad at math like me, that is 5 kids in 7 years. And just to be clear, no, there is only one mom. No, we're not Catholic or Mormon. No, there's no triplets, no twins, no adoptions. And no, I am not a sperm donor. My wife just likes good wine and dirty movies. Know how I really got 5 kids? My wife can't keep track of her period. Plus, she's super hot and I'm kind of a kinky sex addict. But, you know, having 5 kids in 5 years, or 7 years, I mean, is like being Amish. Nobody's using birth control. We're all praying to God for salvation. And people drive past our house just to check us out. In fact, the other night, I opened up my front door and an Amish family was riding past, checking us out and how we lived. The kids were even in the back of the wagon, drawing pictures of us. Sorry to offend anybody that's Amish. Are there any Amish here tonight that logged in? Oh, wait, what am I thinking? It's Sunday. They wouldn't be logging in on a Sunday. They didn't call me Quick for nothing. Before the pandemic, I used to travel a lot for work, 5-star hotels, fancy restaurants. And now, thanks to the magic of Zoom, I am home all the time eating mac and cheese. And I'm looking around at home wondering, where the fuck did all these kids come from? With 5 kids, there are over 30 devices running in our house at once. I went from being a VP of sales to being the IT manager at the Kyle's Big Cup, a totally fucked coffee shop. And to make it even harder, I went sober 9 months ago. Try going sober with 5 kids during a pandemic. It's kind of like going to Chuck E. Cheese's for a birthday party, sober. Who the fuck would do that? It's crazy, right? I'm not Catholic, but I did go to a Catholic grade school and high school. The priest didn't know what to do with me there. A non-Catholic in a Catholic school. They would talk about me. Look at that Kyle kid. He's not an altar boy. He doesn't even go to confession. I mean, how on earth are we ever going to fuck this kid? As you probably guessed, my kids are so screwed with me as their dad. And who am I to lecture them about birth control? I blame the booze for all these kids. I used to drink enough vodka to my first child was named Kettle One. And nobody is truly happy to hear we have 5 kids, except for all of my ex-girlfriends. What? 5? Oh my God. Did I dodge a bullet there? You weren't kidding when you said it's not you, it's me. A few last things I gotta say. People don't know how to take a big family of 5 kids. 5. Whoa. What are you, super religious, or just skip that day in sex ed about pre-cum? Some will even get mad at us for having so many kids. Come on, man. Your carbon footprint is out of control. What are you, like named Kyle or something? I'm sorry, what can we do? We're too overwhelmed. I can't take care of the planet. I got so many kids in the house. Last week I asked my kids where their oldest sister Sally was. My son pointed to our milk carton and her picture was on it. No wonder the Wi-Fi was working so well that week. Anyways, thanks for being here. My name is Kyle. Have a great night. Thank you.
Kyle Parker. Kyle, congrats on your stand-up debut, and congrats to your wife, who apparently has the gestation period of a wombat. Incredible. So fast. No, I love it. I love it. Okay, we have another comic coming to the screen who is making her debut with ACI. We're so excited to have her on the show, all the way from Oakland, California. We're going back and forth, California, Chicago, back to California. This is Cynthia Overton.
All right. It is so great to be doing this show today. I'm happy to be sitting because I walk with a cane, so standing can be hard. And I got to tell you, I hate it when people see my cane and they ask what happened. Because when I explained that I had this life-threatening illness that left me in a wheelchair, I had to learn how to walk again 9 times out of 10. The response that I get is something like this: yeah, I sprained my ankle once hiking. I know what you're going through. You know, that's kind of like updating your Facebook status to in a relationship just because you slept with your neighbor. That's not how life works, y'all. And it's sad because I feel sorry for people who feel sorry for me when they see me walk. Because in reality, I want to be treated just like you. Except for when it comes to parking, standing in line, and getting a seat on the subway, then I want to be treated nothing like you. You know, my cane, it draws a lot of attention, like strangers open doors for me. They try to carry things, which is sweet, but confusing because my arms work just fine. Wouldn't it be more appropriate to offer me maybe like a piggyback ride or some Uber credits? I'd even take a foot rub from a stranger as long as he had clean fingernails. The cane, though, is not the only thing that people are curious about when they see me. Folks always try to touch my hair like I'm a 3-legged labradoodle about to get put down. You know, I was at a bar once, a woman reached out to touch my hair, and I got real nervous. So I just blurted out something stupid like, not before dinner and drinks. The good news is that she did not touch my hair. The bad news is I had to drop $100 on a new dress for our big night out. That's not exactly true, though. The dress was half off, both in the store and by the end of the night. Lots of wine. It's hard to believe that in 2021, segregation is still a big problem. I mean, don't you think that it's odd that you sit next to Black folks in restaurants, at the movie theater, but not at the hair salon? You know, I walked into this one salon once. The woman sees me, picks up the phone and says, "We have a code red up at the front. Have Heather report to reception immediately." Left early. She's the one with the special training. Look, we don't need to read about this on Yelp. Who else does Black hair? No, hon. No, hon. Hair color is not the problem here. So Black women, seriously, if you ever get tired of having your hair touched by random white people, just go to a white hair salon. Problem solved. Folks are starting to recognize that racism is a real problem in this country, which is great, but it drives me bonkers when people say that they're colorblind. folks really don't realize how insensitive that is to the colorblind community. I mean, like Mark Zuckerberg, he was born colorblind, but he has not let that stop him from figuring out how to keep Black folks from getting jobs at Facebook. I work for a racial justice organization. We help advance diversity and inclusion in the tech industry. I asked my boss about her one priority for my work moving forward this year. She says, oh, that's easy. End racism. I don't know about you, but reversing 400 years of oppression seems a little bit more of a stretch goal. Now it's the cornerstone of my performance review. And, I've been thinking, what am I going to do if I don't hit this goal by the end of the year? I can just imagine myself having to look for another job. Here's the absolute worst case scenario that I can envision when I interview. Now, Cynthia, we're impressed by your credentials, but I got to ask, why are you leaving your last job? Well, I failed to meet my annual performance goal. Really? And what goal did you fail to meet? Well, basically to end racism. Well, little lady, I'm not going to beat around the bush here. I think you're going to fit in just fine. Welcome to the team. Thanks for having me, everybody. I'm Cynthia Nett.
Woo, Cynthia! Give it up for Cynthia, everyone. That was great. I loved it. And I'm really excited about your next comic as well. He is so funny. Again, in California, all the way from North Hollywood. This is the very funny Max Zingfeld.
Hey, everybody, I'm Max.
Hey.
This is what you get when Jack Pumpkinhead screws the Six Flags guy. In case you couldn't tell, I'm gay. Surprise! Oh, it looks like you caught on pretty quick. It took you 30 seconds to figure out what took my mother 35 years. Denial, denial. It's the first stage of grief. I mean, really, how could she be shocked? I did my 6th grade book report on Gone with the Wind, wearing a dress I made out of the drapes. Listen, I had so much anxiety over quarantine. My gynecologist thinks I'm a hypochondriac. It's, October. October is ADHD Awareness Month. It is. I have ADHD, OCD, PTSD, and manic depression. It's the EGOT of mental health. My doctor sat me down. He said, Max, I've looked at all your symptoms. I've come to a conclusion. You're Jewish. I call it GADD because I multitask. I can sleep with 10 guys at the same time, but I can't finish. Did you know, I have no control over what comes out of my mouth or what goes in. The ADHD brain doesn't make enough dopamine, so you'll do anything for dopamine rush, like put yourself in dangerous situations, like having sex with a stranger. The stranger, the better. I'm friends with a guy who likes me to come into his apartment and he's naked and blindfolded because he likes anonymous sex. I like that he can't see how much weight I gained during quarantine. Oh, it was terrible. It was terrible. During quarantine, I got so depressed, I started eating pie instead of having sex. Now I can't even get into my own pants. I didn't catch the Delta variant. I caught the Delta Burke. They name all the variants after the Greek alphabet. I think they should name them after Republicans. Right? Like the Eric variant. It causes severe brain damage and verbal diarrhea. Or the Trump variant. You have trouble holding an election and it never goes away. ADD also causes sex addiction. I just read it. I just found this out the other day. ADD causes sex addiction. All this time I thought I was just fun. But I hyper focus and I can get stuck watching porn for 12 hours at a time. But I also get distracted, so I end up rewinding because I miss all the good parts. I'm like, I watch the same 3 minutes over and over. Did he pay for that pizza or not? It's a struggle, and God knows I can never find the remote. I have 4 remotes for one TV. I can never find it. I keep on just buying a new one on Amazon. I'm like, well, just order another one. You know, ADD, my friend says, Heather says that ADD is an excuse. It's my excuse for everything that goes wrong. Nothing is my fault. She was a get out of jail free card. I said, I can't help it. It's hereditary. I was born this way. My brother has it too. And my mom thought that she must have done something to fuck us up. And I said, we're adopted. This is the only thing that's not your fault. You know, she says, well, everyone has a little bit of ADHD. Because I get distracted when I watch Instagram. I'm like, no. You don't have a little ADHD. You might have an ADHD-like symptom. Losing your keys once in a while is not ADHD. That's like saying catching a cold is the same thing as colon cancer. You either have ADHD or you don't have ADHD. It's like no one's a little bit pregnant. Unless you live in Texas. Sometimes I get so frustrated that ADHD is the reason I want to kill myself. It's also the reason I can't. I can't complete that many tasks. I write a great suicide note, and then I can't find the suicide note. And I'm going to make this simple. I got on Amazon. I'm going to buy a gun. 2-day delivery. I get so distracted. I ended up with a comforter and 3 butt plugs. What the fuck am I going to do with a new comforter? I need a new comforter like I need a hole in the head. Hole in the head. I forgot the gun. I have to go back on Amazon. And Amazon says, based on your past purchases, we think you might like rainbow glitter, a rickety stool, and some rope. So ADHD makes you a shopping addict too. I get all 3. Impulse. It arrives 2 days later. I get the rope. I hang it from the ceiling. I have a hook because I used to date a guy from Cirque du Soleil. True story. And then I hyper focus because we're very creative. I'm like, oh, I've got an idea. And I spent 8 hours macrameing a plant holder. I didn't even have a plant. I used to have plants. I forgot to water them. They all died. I've killed everything in the apartment but me. I'm telling you, you know, some very famous people have ADHD. Robin Williams, Channing Tatum. We look alike, don't you think? Alexander Graham Bell. Can you imagine how that phone call went? Ring, 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 ring. Who did I call? Says, you called me. I know, but I can't remember. It's like, Alex, there's only 2 phones in the whole world. Who do you think it is? And don't tell me it's ADHD. It hasn't been invented yet. You know, there's a lot of stigma surrounding ADHD, even with doctors. It stands for attention, hyperactivity. It's a lot to remember, even if I could focus. They just need to call it something simple like, where's my car? All right, thank you, everybody.
Max Zingfeld! Max, I'm glad for ADHD because I'm glad you're still here, and Iris Apfel's going to need someone to replace her when she eventually goes. And it's going to be you. You look more like Iris Apfel every time I see you.
Oh, my God. She's my spirit animal.
And I must tell you, someone in the comments has said that my 8-year-old child just walked in the room and asked, is that Howie? So you look like Howie Mandel.
He has ADHD, and we're both bald and funny.
Perfect. That was great, Max. I'm really excited about your next comic. I got to see her live recently. She was awesome, but now she's back home in Washington, D.C., but she's here to perform for you. Please give it up for Courtney Bickert. And Courtney, take yourself off mute too.
Trying to
Yes, you-
unmute.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Oh my gosh, it's so great to be here. I'm 51. I know that's really hard to believe. I am really lucky though, because I still have my mom. What I still don't have, however, is her approval.
Yourself off mute too.
I'm off
Trying
mute.
to unmute.
Hi. Do I have to start over?
No, Courtney, you're good. I think that was just the. You're good, Courtney. Keep going. That was something else.
Okay. What I still don't have, however, is her approval. So, for instance, I was so trying to impress her and send her this video of me playing the Moonlight Sonata, and her response, 5 piano lessons. Yes, I'm taking them. She prefaces her intended improvements with, have you ever thought of, Courtney, have you ever thought of joining a gym? Have you ever thought of trimming your eyebrows? Have you ever thought of dyeing your mustache? Have you ever thought of what your life would look like if you'd married John from college, had children, finished that master's degree? In a way, my mom sometimes lives in the past and treats me like a child. For those of you out there who are parents, you know that the absolutely best place to give the sex talk is in the car, because the child is literally strapped in and trapped in, and you're driving, so you can't look each other eye to eye. At least this is how my mom did it last week. And she asked me out of the blue, Courtney, have you ever thought about having sex? And I was like, yeah, often, and usually while I'm having it, and always responsible. Well, what birth control are you using? Menopause. And now forever after this conversation. My mom is 84. She's new to texting, and she feels the need to identify herself in every text she sends me, even though she's in my contact list. So here's how it goes, and this is for reals. Dad's got the flu. Love, Mom. These are the peptides I'm taking. Jennifer Aniston is always also taking them. Love, Mom. I'm reading The Trespasser. This author is annoying me because she starts every book exactly the same. Love, Mom. Disregard that last text because I just realized I already read that book. Love, Mom. Have you taken the peptides yet? Love, Mom. And she also doesn't really get the acronyms on the texting front. I sent her a text saying, bad news, just got laid off. And the response was, LOL, Mom. And I was like, huh? And she's like, yeah, lots of love. And I sent her this beautiful dress, a picture of a beautiful dress that I bought. And she wrote back, WTF, exclamation point, question mark, Mom. And I was like, what? And she's like, yeah, what's that for? I give my mom a lot of grief about texting, but I'm no genius at it either. In fact, I'm all thumbs. And so autocorrect is a big problem for me. In fact, it has started sexting on my behalf when I don't even want it to. Like the sign off to my dad's birthday text last week. Love you. Big jugs, Courtney. And now that online dating is all sexting, auto sext correct has become a big problem for me as well. And so because it keeps ending things prematurely. Like I just meant to say, do me now. And it just went out as done now. I'm Courtney. Thank you guys so much for being here online tonight. Thank you.
Courtney Bickert. Courtney is Yelena Kulik.
My sister is still saying that she may not still get a vaccine because she doesn't know what's in it. I said, silly, of course you don't know what's in it. You once asked me what's in orange juice. And she said, well, it's may cause infertilities. And I said, oh my God, finally, the birth control that works? I read in the news recently that now then more and more places required the proof that you've been fully vaccinated. You can actually buy a fake vaccine card. I am Russian, and that doesn't impress me. In Russia, you can buy a fake doctor diploma and practice medicine. Now that's corruption. In Russia, we did not have enough food. And my parents used to say, you know, if you're going to eat the way you do, you're going to put us in a poorhouse. So I was a little suspicious of my parents' intentions. On Sundays, they sent me into the forest to pick mushrooms. I was 5. I remember visiting my grandmother. Said, did you know our next door little boy, Nikolai, he got poisoned by the mushrooms that he picked in the forest. He almost did not survive. And my dad was like, what part of the forest exactly? So as soon as I could, I honored my parents' wish to get lost and moved to the United States. You know, in Russia, you have to be very careful what you said, even at home. Because if your neighbor overheard you saying something bad, they can report you to the authorities. That made me wonder of my parents' choice of words when they were fighting with each other. They would never say, you bastard, or you bitch. Instead, they would say, traitor, capitalist stooge. Were they really fighting? Or did they try to send each other to gulag? I'm interested in this new popular trends in America right now, like cryotherapy, when you have to submit yourself to sub-zero temperatures voluntarily. And then there's intermittent fasting, when you have to starve yourself all day for the most of the day, every day. And then there is minimalism. Then you can only have a few things at home and you can't own anything. They call this living more meaningful and happy life. They have it in Russia too. We call it Siberia. Freedom of speech is, for comedians, is scary. If I told a joke in Russia that they didn't like, they would arrest me. If I told a joke that you don't like here in US, do you know what's going to happen? What's the worst thing? That's right, silence. In America, everybody has a gun. They don't do it in Russia. Even police don't carry a gun on domestic violence dispute. They try to break it out by using the most powerful tool there is, the most powerful weapon, language. One thing that really surprised me when I got here was how many board games are here for children. It's like Candyland is the most kids' favorite. All kids love candy, and the game shows how to get it. Well, in Russia, when I was growing up, if they had a game like this, they would call Find a Chicken. We have mental care in Russia too. It's cigarettes and vodka. Vodka fixes everything. My dad used to smoke this unfiltered strong cigarettes. And I used to say to him, Dad, it's so bad for you. And he would say, well, filters is for sissies and also democracy. I want. What about me? Sissies? Nothing could break me. Not radiation, not communism, not winters, maybe your mother. My daughter told me that there is this Japanese method of organizing. You have to get rid of things that don't spark joy anymore. And I said, oh, well, I should go upstairs now and start packing. My husband asked me, what did I miss the most from lockdown? And I told him his business parties. He said, my business parties? Why? And I said, I really miss you, boss. Pinch me on the ass again. I'll kill for that. Thank you so much. I love you.
Yelena Kulik. And that's our show. Thank you so much for watching. And thanks all the comics for participating in this from all over the place. I hope you had a great time watching. We have these workshops every single month online. Our next workshop is going to start up on October 12th. Steve Rosenfield is teaching. And for those in the New York area, we do have in-person shows back at Gotham Comedy Club. So there's always the option to perform online, in person. If you've ever loved making people laugh, I hope you do. Naturally, we all like to do that. If you've ever wanted to try stand-up comedy, this is your place. Come to the American Comedy Institute. No matter where you are, you can be a part of ACI. Thank you so much for watching. We hope you have a great rest of your weekend and have a great rest of your week. Bye.